We are honored today to be joined by our resource persons, Socioeconomic Planning Secretary Carl Kendrick T. Chua of the National Economic and Development Authority, and from the Philippine Statistics Authority, we have Undersecretary Dr. Dennis S. Mapa, our National Statistician and Civil Registrar General. We would also like to acknowledge the presence of PSA OIC Deputy National Statistician for the Censuses and Technical Coordination, Ma'am Minerva Eloisa P. Esquivias. To deliver the opening message, let us all listen to the Honorable Socioeconomic Planning Secretary, Carl Kendrick T. Chua of the National Economic and Development Authority.
Good afternoon. I am pleased to welcome you to this press conference on the 2020 Census of Population and Housing conducted by the Philippine Statistics Authority, or the PSA, in September of 2020. Demographic data is a basic and crucial input in the plans and projects of both the public and the private sectors. Hence, the government conducts the census every 5 years to provide agencies, businesses, and individuals with up-to-date and reliable information on the population. However, quarantine restrictions and health protocols challenge statistical systems around the world. Last year, countries such as Thailand and Saudi Arabia opted to postpone their national census to 2021 or 2022. Despite these challenges, the Philippine government decided to push through with the 2020 census to better inform our recovery strategies. This was made possible by the support of local governments that provided health and logistical assistance for the conduct of the census. I would also like to commend the census workers for your efforts and all the respondents for your cooperation. Each response further enables the government to craft evidence-based policies and interventions that benefit the Filipino people, most especially the poor. Congratulations to the PSA for the successful conduct of the 2020 Census of Population and Housing. Mabuhay ang mahigit na 109 milyong Pilipino. Maraming salamat po at mag-ingat po lahat tayo.
Thank you very much, Secretary Chua. Atin naman pong pakinggan si Honorable PSA Undersecretary Dr. Dennis S. Mapa na siyang magre-report sa resulta ng 2020 Census of Population and Housing.
Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Ang Philippine Statistics Authority ay malugod na mag-uulat ng populasyon ng Pilipinas noong nakalipas na taon mula sa resulta ng 2020 Census of Population and Housing. Para sa inyong kaalaman, ang 2020 Census of Population and Housing ay isinagawa ng Philippine Statistics Authority alinsunod sa Republic Act No. 10625 o kilala rin bilang Philippine Statistical Act of 2013, Executive Order No. 352 o Designation of Statistical Activities that will generate critical data for decision-making of the government and the private sector, at Batas Pamansa bilang 72 na nagbibigay ng batayan para sa pagsasagawa ng decennial at pinagsamang Census of Population and Housing. Diniklara bilang National Census Month ang Mayo 2020 alinsunod sa Proclamation No. 928 Series of 2020 na nagsasabing ang 2020 census ay isasagawa sa Mayo 2020 at ang Mayo 1 bilang census reference date. Gayunpaman, dahil sa pandemya, ang pagsasagawa ng census ay inilipat sa Setyembre 2020. Ang impormasyon patungkol sa populasyon na nakolekta ay may reference date na 12:01 AM ng Mayo 1, 2020 alinsunod sa mga probisyon na nakasaad sa Batas Pambansa bilang 72. Ang 2020 Census of Population and Housing ay snapshot ng populasyon ng Pilipinas noong Mayo 1, 2020. Ang populasyon ng Pilipinas ay nasa 109,035,343 as of May 1, 2020. Diniklara ng Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte na opisyal para sa lahat ng layunin na ang bilang ng populasyon sa lalawigan, lungsod, bayan at barangay alinsunod sa Proclamation Number 1179 Series of 2021. Ito ay nilagdaan noong Hulyo 6, 2021. Ang populasyon ng bansa sa taong 2020 ay umabot sa higit na 100 million mula sa 7,635,426 noong 1903 kung kailan unang isinagawa ang opisyal na census. Ang populasyon ngayon ay halos doble kumpara sa populasyon sa pagitan ng census years 1980 at 1990. Ang population growth rate o ang pagbilis o pagbagal ng pagtaas ng populasyon ay naitala sa 1.63% mula 2015 hanggang 2020. Ito ay mas mabagal kumpara sa 1.72% na naitala noong 2010 hanggang 2015. Ang population growth rate naman mula 2015 hanggang 2020 na nasa 1.63% ay pumangalawa sa pinakamababang population growth rate na naitala sa kasaysayan ng census. Kasunod ang pinakamababang population growth rate na naitala noong 2007 hanggang 2010 na nasa 1.53%. Mula noong taong 2000, halos 16 na milyon katao ang naidagdag sa populasyon ng bansa kada dekada. Samantala, noong taong 2010, halos 8 milyong katao ang naidagdag sa bawat kalagitnaan ng dekada o tinatawag nating mid-decade census. Ang population density ng bansa o bilang ng tao na nanirahan sa isang square kilometer ay umabot sa 363 katao sa taong 2020. Kumpara sa taong 2015, nadagdagan ng 26 katao na naninirahan sa isang square kilometer noong 2020. Sa taong 2010, mayroon tayong 308 katao at 255 naman noong 2000. Umabot sa 16.2 milyon katao o halos 15% ng kabuuang populasyon ng bansa ang naninirahan sa Calabar Zone na siyang pinakamataas sa lahat ng riyon. Naitala naman sa 13.48 million ang naninirahan sa National Capital Region o higit sa 12% ng kabuuang populasyon ng bansa. Kasunod dito ang Central Luzon na pangatlo sa may pinakamalaking populasyon na nagtala sa 12.42 milyon katao o higit sa 11% ng kabuuang populasyon ng bansa. Ang pinakamababang bilang ng populasyon ay nasa riyon ng Cordillera Administrative Region na may 1.8 milyon katao o halos 2% lamang. Kasunod ang Caraga Region na may 2.8 milyon o halos 3%, at Cagayan Valley Region na may 3.68 million o higit 3% ng kabuuang populasyon ng bansa. Ang populasyon ng Calabar Zone, National Capital Region at Central Luzon ay nasa 38.61% ng kabuuang populasyon ng bansa. 4 sa 10 katao sa bansa ang naninirahan sa mga nasabing riyon. Ang Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao o BARM ang nagtala ng may pinakamabilis na pagtaas ng populasyon na nasa 3.26% population growth rate. Ito ay sinundan ng Region 4A, Calabar Zone, na may population growth rate na 2.48% at Region 3, Central Luzon, na may population growth rate na 2.17%. Samantala, ang mga riyon na may population growth rate na mas mababa sa 1% ay ang Cordillera Administrative Region na nasa 0.91%, National Capital Region na may 0.97% population growth rate, at Region 8, Eastern Visayas na may 0.5% population growth rate. Ang National Capital Region ang nagtala ng may pinakamataas na population density na may 21,765 katao sa bawat square kilometer. Ito ay halos 60 times na mas mataas kaysa sa population density ng buong bansa na nasa 363 katao sa bawat square kilometer ng lupa. Noong 2015, ang National Capital Region ay may population density na 20,785 katao at noong 2010 naman, ito ay may population density na 19,137. Samantala, ang pinakamababang population density o sparsely populated region noong 2020 ay ang Cordillera Administrative Region na may 91 katao bawat square kilometer. Noong 2015 at 2010, ang population density ng Cordillera Administrative Region ay nasa 82 at 87 katao. Sa 81 na probinsya ng bansa, ang Cavite Province ang may pinakamataas na populasyon na naitala sa 4.34 billion katao noong 2020. Sinundan ito ng probinsya ng Bulacan na may 3.71 million at probinsya ng Laguna na may 3.38 million katao. 25 iba pang probinsya ang may higit sa 1 milyong populasyon noong 2020. Ang Batanes Province ang may pinakamaliit na populasyon na may 18,831 katao. Ang isa pang lalawigan na may maliit na populasyon na mababa sa 100,000 ay ang Camiguin Province na may populasyon na 92,808. Sa mga probinsya ng bansa, ang Cavite Province ang pinaka-densely populated province na may 2,847 katao sa bawat square kilometer ng lupa. Sinundan ito ng probinsya ng Bulacan na may 2,816, probinsya ng Laguna na may 1,754 katao, Bulacan na may 1,332 at Pampanga na may 1,218 katao bawat square kilometer. Samantala, ang probinsya ng Apayao ang pinaka-sparsely populated na probinsya na may population density lamang na 28 katao bawat square kilometer. Sumunod ang probinsya ng Abra na may 60 katao, Palawan na may 64, Mountain Province 66 at Kalinga na may 70 katao sa bawat square kilometer ng lupa. Ang Pilipinas ay mayroong 33 highly urbanized cities. 4 dito ang may populasyon na lumampas sa 1 milyong katao. Ito ay ang Quezon City na may populasyon noong 2020 na 2.96 million, City of Manila 1.85 million, City of Davao 1.78 million, at City of Caloocan 1.66 million. Ang City of Davao ang pinakamalaking lungsod sa labas ng National Capital Region in terms of population. Sinundan ito ng City of Zamboanga na may 0.98 million at City of Cebu na may 0.96 million populasyon na halos umabot sa 1 milyon. Ang pinakamaliit na populasyon sa mga highly urbanized cities ay ang City of San Juan na mayroon lamang 126,347 katao. Sinundan ito ng City of Navotas, 247,543 at City of Tacloban na may population na 252,881. 7 sa 16 na highly urbanized cities sa National Capital Region ang lumampas sa regional population density na may 21,765 katao kada square kilometer. Ang City of Manila ang may pinakamasikip o densely populated na syudad na may 73,920 katao kada square kilometer. Sinundan ito ng City of Mandaluyong na may 45,830 katao bawat square kilometer at City of Pasay na may 31,543 katao bawat square kilometer. Sa 17 highly urbanized cities sa labas ng National Capital Region, ang City of Mandaue ang may pinakamasikip o densely populated na syudad na may 14,461 katao bawat square kilometer ng lupa. Ito ay sinundan ng City of Lapu-Lapu na may 8,565 katao at City of Angeles na may 7,305 katao bawat square kilometer. Ang iba pang highly urbanized cities sa labas ng National Capital Region na may population density na higit 5,000 katao bawat square kilometer ng lupa ay ang City of Baguio na may 6,370 at City of Iloilo na may 5,842 katao. Ang City of Puerto Princesa ay ang pinaka-sparsely populated na highly urbanized city sa labas ng National Capital Region na may 129 katao lamang kada square kilometer. Ang Pilipinas ay mayroong 108 component cities at 5 independent cities. Ang City of Antipolo ang pinakamalaking populasyon na may 887,399 katao noong May 1, 2020. Sinundan ito ng City of Nasbariñas na may 703,141, City of Bacoor na may population na 664,625, City of San Isidro del Monte sa Bulacan na may 651,813, at City of Calamba na may 539,671 na populasyon. Samantala, ang City of Palayan sa Nueva Ecija ay ang pinakamaliit na component city na may populasyon na may 45,383 katao noong Mayo 1, 2020. Sinundan ito ng City of Bigan sa Ilocos Sur na may 53,935, City of Batac sa Ilocos Norte 55,484, City of El Salvador sa Misamis Oriental na may population na 58,771 at City of Canlaon sa Negros Oriental na may population na 58,822. Ang bansa ay mayroong 1,488 na bayan o municipalities at 25 sa mga ito ay nagtala ng populasyon na higit sa 150,000. Ang tatlong pinakamalaking bayan ayon sa populasyon ay matatagpuan sa probinsya ng Rizal. Ito ay ang Rodriguez, Montalban na may population na 443,954, Taytay na may population na 368,451 at Cainta na may population na 376,933. 22 iba pang mga bayan sa Pilipinas ang nagtala ng population na higit sa 150,000 noong Mayo 1, 2020. Ang bayan ng Kalayaan sa Palawan ay ang may pinakamaliit na population na na-record noong Mayo 1, 2020. Ito ay mayroong population na 193 katao. Sinundan ito ng Uyugan, Batanes na may population na 1,380 at Ibana, Batanes na may population na 1,407. Ang bansa ay mayroong 42,046 na mga barangay noong 2020. Sa bilang na ito, 21 barangay ang nagkaroon ng populasyon na higit sa 100,000. Ang barangay na may pinakamalaking populasyon noong 2020 ay ang Barangay 176 sa City of Caloocan na nagtala ng populasyon na 261,729 katao. Sinundan ito ng 2 pang barangay sa Quezon City, ang Barangay Commonwealth na may population na 213,229 at Barangay Batasan Hills na may population na 166,572. 18 iba pang mga barangay ang mayroong population na higit sa 100,000 katao noong Mayo 1, 2020. Sa kabila ng pandemya dulot ng COVID-19, buong ipinagmamalaki ng Philippine Statistics Authority na nalampasan nito ang mga hamon upang makakolekta at makagawa ng di-kalidad na datos mula sa 2020 Census of Population and Housing. Ito ay kritikal sa decision-making for good governance, development planning, risk reduction and crisis response, social welfare programs, and business market analysis bukod sa iba pa. Nais ng Philippine Statistics Authority na ipahayag ang lubos na pagpasasalamat sa publiko para sa kanilang suporta at tugon sa aming 2020 Census of Population and Housing sa kabila ng pandemya. Ang 2020 Census of Population and Housing ay ika-15 Census of Population ng bansa at ika-7 Census of Housing mula ng taong 1903. Ang datos mula sa 2020 Census of Population and Housing para sa buong bansa, mga reyon, probinsya, lungsod, bayan at mga barangay ay maaring ma-download sa website ng Philippine Statistics Authority. Maraming salamat at magandang hapon sa inyong lahat.
Maraming salamat po, PSA Undersecretary Dr. Dennis S. Mapa. Bago natin simulan ang question and answer segment, nais po muna naming i-acknowledge ang presence ni Honorable Undersecretary Rosemary Edelion of the National Economic and Development Authority. And from PSA naman po, nais po namin i-acknowledge si OICANS Florante Varona. Now we will proceed to the Q&A segment. To our media partners here with us today, para sa mga nais magtanong po, maaari po ninyong gamitin ang raise hand feature kung saan kayo po ay aming i-acknowledge muna bago po ninyo sabihin ang inyong mga katanungan. Pwede rin po kayo magpadala ng inyong mga questions via the chat box. Okay, ngayon po, sisimulan na natin ang Q&A segment. We have questions from the Zoom chat box from Mr. Dreo Calonzo of Bloomberg. The question is for Yusek Mapa. What are the reasons for the slower population growth rate from 2015?
Thank you. The slower population growth rate, hindi lang natin ito na-observe mula ng 2015. Kung titingnan natin yung historical data, ang ating population growth rate ay pababa naman talaga na. In fact, I'm looking at the data noong 1980, for example, yung ating growth rate ay nasa 2.71%. At bumaba ito ng 2.36%, 2.32%. So the trend is actually going down. So isa sa mga rason, of course, ang preference ng maraming pamilya na mas maliit yung family size. But this is not unique itong 2015 to 2020 because we are seeing a downtrend in terms of population growth several censuses already. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yusek Mapa. The next question is for Secretary Chua. Again, this is from Mr. Dreo Calonzo. How will slower population growth impact our economic goals? Do you see this as a positive or a negative?
Thank you for the question. Usually, when countries develop and move up the income ladder, their population growth falls. Some countries see significant decline, and that also affects their demographic composition. And aging in those countries does not really help in their economic growth. So there's a balancing that we are seeing. In general, for a country like the Philippines, the slower population growth is consistent with the increase in the income of the people and the country. In the end, the main question we need to ask is whether we can provide and improve the productivity of the additional people. Later on, we will also be evaluating some of the government's programs, including the reproductive health law, to understand better if the census results are also in line with the progress that we are seeing in the rest of the human capital development. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Secretary Chua. The next question is from Mr. Ben De Vera of the Philippine Inquirer. This is addressed to Secretary Chua. First question is the population growth rate of 1.63% in 2015 to 2020 within goal to slow down population growth through the reproductive health law, alongside expectations of sustained economic growth in the near to medium term, Is there an ideal population growth rate that will allow the Philippines to move up to a higher GNI or income per capita levels?
Thank you, Ben, for the question. On the first point, we are going to use the result of this census together with statistics from the vital statistics and the assessment of our population program to see whether our reproductive health law is showing progress. Right now, what I can see from the initial data is there is progress in our reproductive health program. Total fertility rate is falling. More women are more educated and are better managing their families. And the population growth is also falling. But as I mentioned to some people, the population growth that is reported here, itong 1.63, includes the gross birth less the deaths. No? So we have to do some analysis. But the data is showing progress actually in our reproductive health program. Now, there is really no ideal population growth, in my opinion. What is important is we are able to provide the basic services to the people to allow them to be healthy so that they can finish school and get a good job and improve the productivity of the country. There are countries with high population growth and they have and that contributes to their economic problems, in particular high rates of poverty. But there are countries with low population growth, and they also have lower potential for growth because of aging. So the most important for me is that the population growth is supported actually by improving services for the people to improve their human capital so that they can become productive. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Secretary Chua. We have a follow-up question from Mr. Ben de Vera. This is again addressed to Secretary Chua. Is high population density in NCR, Calabar Zone, and Central Luzon a good thing or a bad thing? Would the government institutionalize the Balik Probinsya initiative after the pandemic to decentralize the economy from being too NCR/Calabar Zone/Central Luzon centric?
Thank you again for the question. In the field of economic geography, there are two important things we have to remember. The first is there will always be areas of agglomeration because firms, schools, people would like to be near each other because that provides a good feedback of talents, of skills, of experience, of innovation and learning. And that is what we see in this NCR, Calabarzon, and Central Luzon. So high population density is neither good or bad per se. What is important and what determines whether the effects would be good or bad for the people is if the people are being provided with better services, water and sanitation, housing, opportunities, whether they are able to travel with less traffic, congestion, and so on. Now, the Balik Probinsya addresses the second point of this economic geography. It is important that we have equal opportunities for all Filipinos, whether they are in Manila or in Mindanao or in Palawan or Tawi-Tawi. And that is what we are also doing in the Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa program. That is to provide equal opportunities for secondary cities, tertiary cities, and also rural areas to also develop their population by providing the basics of health services, education, water, sanitation, housing, so that there are opportunities. But if the people in the provinces would like to work and take part of the bigger opportunities in NCR, Calabarzon, or Luzon, and that is something that we should be open about. And the way to help them is to improve connectivity. That is the second important point in this economic geography view of our economy. So to summarize, what is important is we provide equal opportunities and we provide a means to connect different regions or provinces so that they all benefit from the high growth areas. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Secretary Chu. The next question is from from Ms. Eileen Mencias. This question is for Yusek Mapa. Are homeless illiterate people included in the survey? How are they captured in the survey?
Okay, thank you very much. Yung ating mga households or individuals na nasa streets ay kasama dito sa ating census, ano. So lahat ito included sa census. Ang ating mga enumerators ay nilista sila kung saan sila nakita. So yan yung ating policy when we conduct the census. So yung mga homeless ay kasama sa bilang dito sa 2020 Census of Population and Housing.
Thank you very much, Yusek Mapa. The next question is from Mr. Warren de Guzman. This question is for Secretary Chua. His first question is, given the latest census data, are the current vaccination targets correct? And the second question is, was the census able to generate new data on the number of poor families in the Philippines?
Thank you, Warren, for the question. I asked the PSA for the following information. The 2020 population count is 109 million. It's higher only by 263,000 plus compared to the projection of 108.8. So we are just higher by 263 out of the 70 million we want to inoculate. So we are broadly on track. Of course, there's no way to have an exact estimate that is 100% correct, but this is not even 1% of the, so the deviation is not even 1%. So this is we are well able to fund this additional. There's also a report by POPCOM that during the pandemic, there were increases in the number of unwanted pregnancies. So this could have contributed also. But to answer your question, we are on track. And the targets are well funded, can be well funded. Now, the census does not generate data on poor, but there is a part of the census that looks at housing characteristics. Once the housing characteristic data is available, this will be used also to verify our other surveys or sources of data like the FIES or the CBMS. So we always look at different sources to look at an overall picture of the poverty level, whether it is from the income side, from the housing side, or so on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Secretary Chua. The next question is from Ms. Kai Ordinario of Business Mirror. The question is addressed to PSA Yusek Mapa. How is TFR and PGR related? How much of the population growth rate of the most populous provinces and regions are due to higher TFR, and how much is due to internal migration?
Okay, thank you very much, Kai. Yung total fertility rate ng population ay isa sa mga importanteng factor para doon sa population growth. Pero sa ngayon, dito sa aming Census of Population and Housing ay mayroon kaming datos na may questions on total fertility rate at ito po ay i-release namin by next year pagka na-process na yung mga datos. So yung total fertility rate is a very important factor doon sa population growth. Yung pangalawa, itong internal migration, nakita namin sa datos natin na may mga probinsya na talagang tumaas ang kanilang population higher than the projected population based on the 2015 census. At nung aming binalikan ang mga munisipyo, mga syudad sa probinsya na ito, ay nakita namin na may malaking contribution din yung ating migration. Siguro dahil nga sa COVID-19 pandemic. Nakita namin ito sa mga probinsya na malapit sa National Capital Region like yung province of Bulacan, province of Rizal, at province of Cavite. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yusek Mapa. Now we would like to ask our press or media partners for any live questions that you would have for our resource persons.
follow-up.
Okay, we have a follow-up question from Mr. Warren. As a follow-up, how will the census data help with social amelioration? Will the updated data be used to provide financial aid to families who were not able to avail last year? The question is for Secretary Chua.
Thank you for the question. We always use the latest available data to guide our policy. And now that we have officially the 2020 census data, that will be used going forward. Prior to its release, prior to the President's proclamation, what we have is the projections from the 2015. So going forward, the 2020 census will be used for all programs or projects that would require some count of the people, like the vaccine or the social amelioration or national ID. Thank you. But as I mentioned, we are just 260,000 different from between the estimate and the actual. So this is not going to be a significant, a big or significant reprogramming of what we have already. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Chua. We have another question from Mr. Chino Leco of Manila Bulletin. This is for PSA USEC MAPA. Do you have a population projection for our next census in 2025? What is the median age in the Philippines as of May 1, 2020?
There are two questions. Yung first question natin regarding the projection for the 2025 census or 2025, year 2025. Base sa datos natin dito sa Census Population and Housing nung May 1, 2020, ang susunod natin na mga activities ay gagamitin itong updated data para magkaroon ulit tayo ng projection, no, sa mga susunod na taon. So ito ay exercise na gagawin pa lang ng Philippine Statistics Authority. Pero kung pagbabasihan natin yung 2015 Census of Population and Housing, ang projection namin na ating i-update, no, using the 2020 data, ang projection natin sa ngayon sa July 1, 2025 ay nasa 15.4 million. Yun yung magiging population natin by 2025, July 1. This is based on the 2015 census data, which we will update pagkatapos nitong exercise natin na ma-collecta na natin lahat at ma-process yung information mula sa 2020 Census of Population and Housing. Sa pangalawang question on the median age, ito ay ating pinaprocess pa kasi yung unang report na ilalabas natin ngayong araw na ito ay yung population count muna sa buong bansa, sa riyon, probinsya, cities, municipalities at barangay. Ang susunod po noon ay ang ating age structure na isa ring mahalagang information. Ito po ay ginagawa ngayon ng ating technical staff mula sa Philippine Statistics Authority. Maraming salamat.
Thank you very much, USEC MAPA. Do you have other questions po from our press partners?
No off topic.
Okay, that is our last question. We would like to thank everybody for joining us today in our press conference for the results of the 2020 Census of Population and Housing. We would also like to thank our Honorable Resource Person, NEDA Socioeconomic Planning Secretary Carl Kendrick T. Chua, PSA Undersecretary Dr. Dennis S. Mapa, PSA OIC DNS Minerva Eloisa P.S. Cribias, NEDA Undersecretary Rosemary Edelion, and PSA OIC ANS Florante Varona. Once again, I am Ange Icardo from the PSA, wishing you a good day ahead.